Thank you, everybody, for being here tonight. As always, whenever I start, when I start here, I always applaud you and thank you for being here because the people that come to the workshops, yes, we ask you to come, but really it's a choice. It's a choice, but part of our big thing here in the office is that you have a good understanding of how to take care of yourself when you're not here. So it's actually more important than getting adjusted alone. And having said that, I want to say thank you because we're going to spend 30 minutes of time together. In 30 minutes, you can't really, get a vast amount of information, but this is just basic stuff so you understand where you're going. However, you'll get a lot of information in a 30-minute period of time. Having said all of those things, most of you are patients here. We have some guests that came in. I appreciate the guests. Thank you, Erica, for bringing someone. It's always nice to have people, and I encourage you to bring people with you. My hope is that when you leave here that you'll take something home to share with someone, one nugget, one thing. That's all I ask. And be open-minded enough to accept that as something that you can use to change the way you're doing things now. Because ultimately, change is the only constant that we have in our lives. Everything changes around us. We need to change with it. We have to adapt with it. And as a chiropractor, our job, when we're adjusting your spines, removing subluxations, correcting subluxations, is to make sure, that's okay. That's to make sure that that you are able to adapt to those things. Having said that, tonight we're going to be talking about the basics of essential oils. Many of you have taken some of the oils, done some of the oils. We're going to be talking about basic things. I'm going to show you some products that we deal with. We deal with the doTERRA products. Has anybody ever heard of doTERRA? You have? Okay. There's a couple other companies out there too that you can have. One of the reasons I use this company, I spoke with a friend about this. He did a lot of research into it. Then I did some of my own. Their stuff is certified therapeutic grade. So one of the things is with essential oils, you can either ingest them, inhale them, or just put them topically on your skin. But you have to know the differences. Some of them you can ingest, some of them you can't. Some are good for some people, some are not good for others, for kids, for adults. So you really have to, it gets really, really intense. But we're going to go into what is an essential oil and how it starts out that way. So essential oils are volatile liquids generally distilled from the leaves, stems, flowers, bark, roots, or other elements of a plant. So basically, it's the concentrated constituents of whatever herb or whatever it is that you're using. Okay, so basically they're distilling it down, and the process of distilling it is really, really very, very, very important to understand because there are a lot of different ways to do that. Okay, and the techniques that they use with the doTERRA is very high grade. Again, that's why I use them. It's interesting that they say volatile liquids because I don't want to put a volatile liquid on my skin, But the thing is, it's what they're referring to is like chemical constituents. They call certain chemicals volatile and certain others. Most people, when they think of volatile, they think of explosive, but that's not necessarily the meaning of those things that are going on. So one of those things that we look at. I know this is a touch screen, but it's not working for me right now. So one of the reasons that they call them volatile is because it moves easily from a liquid state to a gaseous state. That's why leave it open for a long time. What's going to happen to it? It's going to evaporate. It's going to go away. So as a volatile liquid, what ends up happening is they expire very quickly. So you have to make sure you close the bottles. You have to make sure that they're secure. That's also one of the reasons. Like if you look at the bottles, this one is empty right now. But it still smells good. Is brown because also light will affect it. So when it's called volatile, it just means that it can easily dissolve or easily go away. So there's a lot of different benefits, and we're going to talk a little bit about that stuff. Ultimately, mood is a big one. So what is an example, and it's not necessarily an essential oil, but what is an example of a smell that someone may use when they're selling a house? Huh? Cookies. The smell of baking cookies. Why? Because it feels like it's home. Okay, so when you walk in, it feels like, oh wow, this feels like a great place to be. And so the thing, so smell is one of the most ancient. It's like one of the most ancient of our senses, and it's really at the core of anything. So smell can have a great effect on the thoughts and processes of things that we do. So where do they come from? Well, most oils are extracted from the plant through a distiller. Okay, so you can see, doesn't it look like a beer distillery? It does. It looks like that. But the thing is, honestly, what are they doing? They're distilling it down. Those are the things that we'll look at. Most of it goes through steam distilling in the process, and what happens is as they distill it, the bursting oil that's in the cells is actually taken in, and then what ends up happening, it's extracted using some sort of solvent. And you got to be careful of the solvents you use, because the solvents can be dangerous to you alone. So these are the big things. So you have different things here. So you have something like frankincense, which is a form of boswellia. Okay, has everybody ever heard of frankincense? Anybody that's religious will also understand, because frankincense is something that's used. Okay, so you have something like frankincense, and then you have something like, not lemongrass, but lemon. I don't think I have lemon in here. Oh, I do. Okay, so I have lemon in here. This is my own kit here, and you can see I have quite a few of them. And they have different smell. It's different smells, different tastes, obviously. The lemon, obviously, you can ingest. Okay, frankincense maybe, but it doesn't usually. You don't want to stay using those things. But they have different smells. They also cost a lot different, because distilling frankincense, it comes from a boswellia plant. Okay, and distilling a lemon, this is a lot more intensive than doing this. However, this jar will probably last you several months. Okay, so there's a difference. So when you have differences in the specifics of the plant, it's how rare is the plant, how hard is it to distill. There's certain aspects that go into considering those things that are going on. So you really have to be aware of. You have to really be aware of those things. So what is frankincense good for? I was talking to somebody today. We have something called Correctex. It doesn't have, I don't believe it has frankincense extract in it, but this is like our form of natural Neosporin. Okay, it's like a natural form of Neosporin. It's an antibiotic blend that's created by doTERRA, and I could read off all the stuff in it, but you'd be like, your head would be spinning. But it works really well on like small cuts, like periodically out. Like if I get something like a cut on my finger, or my fingers are dried out, I'll put some in and it'll heal fairly quickly. Or if I get a small cut, you have to be aware of this, but aware of what's going on. But frankincense, a lot of times they'll put on things such as skin cancers and things of that nature, and it helps to heal the skin cancers. And please don't mistake what I'm saying is this is the cure for skin cancer. What it is, it takes 3 or 4 months for it to work. So there's a lot of different things that are going on, and these are just like we're just touching on some of the stuff. I just happened to pick 2. Lemon. What does lemon do? It uplifts you. It's good for your insides. It helps to alkalize your body if you drink it with water. I used to put drops into the water. And the big thing is like right now we have a diffuser running. You have to be careful that you get a high quality diffuser, because if you put citrus into a diffuser that's not high quality, it actually eats away at the plastic. So you have to be careful. You have to be careful. That's why I only use the doTERRA ones, because I know those are the ones. You can find other ones, but I use these because I know that it's not going to eat away if I use that stuff at it. Like I used to drink, I used to have one of those double insulated plastic cups that I know Erica loves so much with the straw, and I used to put a couple of drops of lemon, and all of a sudden I was looking at it over time. The plastic actually started to crack on the inside, and I was like, why is it cracking? And then I realized it was the citrus, because the plastic is not made for it, So thank God I had the lemon in the water, because who knows what I was getting out of even though they were BPA free, So those are the things. Those are some of the things that we're looking at. So when these things are, where do they come from? They're actually coming from. It's very labor intensive. It takes time. Okay, it's not easy. It's not easy. So why are they important? So go back in any civilization, and you will find some aspect of using some sort of oils or something for health or for benefits. And every civilization different. Chinese to ancient Greek to Roman, they all used them. They all used them, and there was a reason for that. And what happens is these things, I'm not making any specific medical claims, but there's a reason why they continue to work throughout these days and why people are using them. So, I mean, anybody here use any essential oils? Okay. So, name an essential oil that you may use, Peter, for something. What do you use it for?
Lavender.
Okay. Right. And that's a common one, right? Everybody has heard of that, like they use it in kids' rooms, things of that nature. So lavender is a big one. Lavender is very popular. And it'd be nice if like we give you there's handouts for all the patients that have like some of the basic ones. But it'd be nice if we could just take the lavender off the trees and just smell them. And you still get a sense of calm, but it's not going to be concentrated enough to last for a long period of time. So those are the big things. One of the things that's really different about essential oils is there's a lot of studies going on. We use something. She said she brought it in here, but I don't see it. Can you do me a favor? Can you grab the tube of Deep Blue? She said she brought it the samples in. I have the oils I have the oil in here, but I just want to bring the tube so people can see it too. So there's something that we use called Deep Blue for people that, like, when they have aches and pains, it's good for the joints. Frankincense you can use on that stuff too. But in this, there's like wintergreen, peppermint, just to name a few, geranium. There's a bunch of different. You can throw it. No. What's happening? Okay, don't worry about it. Don't. Okay, that's why I tell people to come. Because that happens. That sometimes we lose connection because of the way. So deeply, it's a rub. It's proprietary, to doTERRA, but basically it's like for aches and pains. Okay. Is this a new one or one we used? Unopened. Okay. So basically, what it is, it's a little more expensive than like a Bengay in the store, things of that nature. But what happens is, the difference is when you use an essential oil blend, or you use something like an essential oil, it goes transdermally. Everybody knows what transdermal means. Now they use patches for everything. It was like the miracle. You slap a patch on you, and all of a sudden you're getting drugs into your system. And it's like I can tell you other things that were done that way too many years ago, but we won't talk about those. Anyway, but the thing is, you put this in. The difference is the essential oil actually goes intracellular. It's not just topical. It actually goes into the cells and works with the cells of your body and adds to that, and rather than just taking away something. So that's the difference. So a lot of people respond really, really well to this when they've tried other stuff. Like BioFreeze is great, but it's temporary and it's topical. Okay, this works deeper. Okay, so those are the things that we're looking at. It also comes in an oil blend, and one of the things that we sometimes do is we'll take a couple of, it's like someone in a lot of pain. What we'll do is we'll take a couple of drops of the deep blue. There's not much in here. A couple of drops of the deep blue. Take some lemongrass. Okay, and then put a little bit of that and mix it all in, and it makes it even more effective. So because it helps to relieve the pain. And most people come into my office, why? Because they're in discomfort. Okay, but a lot of people are starting to realize that it's not just about pain, but taking care of themselves and keeping and maintaining what they have. So there's a lot of things that there's a lot of things, and there's a lot of questions about it. I mean, there are studies out there. They're meticulous studies. They show everything that's going on, but periodically there are going to be the detractors. Oh, it doesn't work, things. But that's true of almost anything. That's true of almost anything. So the thing is, you have to find what works for you. So which oils should you be using? Well, there's a couple of that's the big question. We always start I have a bunch of stuff here. I'm going to show you something up there, and if you want to start with basic, lavender is a great one. Does anybody use a different one, something else that they can? Go ahead.
I have a nighttime lavender. Okay. I don't remember what's in it, but I know there's lavender, and
it's just relaxing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the other thing that what they do with doTERRA, with the company, you can actually go on and you can make blends, and you can put them into bottles, and that's what I do. And periodically, I'll give people little samples of stuff to use. Yeah, and so that you can mix certain things that help calm the body. Breathe, which is a popular one this time of year. It comes in a stick. So this is like a stick that you can rub on your chest or rub on your feet. You know how people used to use Vicks? They would rub it on the kids' feet. Although Vicks is poison, I wouldn't want to put that on my kids. No, seriously. I mean, it's not healthy. But Breathe is a proprietary blend of respiratory stuff, and peppermint is one of the first things in it. So if you don't have the blend, you can try peppermint initially. Okay, but this stuff works really well. I have people buy it and they take a couple of drops, breathe it, all of a sudden everything opens up. And you can put it in a diffuser. You have to be careful. Eucalyptus is one that a lot of people use for stuff like that. But what ends up happening is you have to be careful, because eucalyptus is not necessarily safe for children. Okay, so you have to be very, very careful of using that. Cinnamon. Why use cinnamon? Cinnamon helps in sugar processing. Okay, so handling of sugars. So the thing is, you can actually, so what we've done, I don't know if you were here when we started doing that, the questionnaires. No, okay. Erica used to work with me, so she knows. So the thing is, and so she knows a lot of the people here. But what we do now is we have people fill out a symptom survey questionnaire, and then it gives me an idea of what supplements, because I work with standard processed supplements, which are whole food supplements, and essential oil blends that will help them to get healthy. But it's a commitment. I mean, you really have to be committed to saying, okay, I'm going to do this on a daily basis, because it doesn't happen overnight. It takes 3 to 4 months. Just like what you do with your chiropractic care, it takes time to correct changes that have been there for decades and generations. Okay, so don't expect to just take cinnamon and sugar levels to be normalized. You have to start thinking, and then there's the mental aspect there. I mean, there's a lot that goes behind this stuff, but lavender, like you said, is great. Lavender also is good as a topical. Okay, it also works as a topical to help relax things. So you can work with that. But I've mixed lavender and peppermint together and actually rubbed it on areas. And there's kits like that. Like we have a sport kit for kids that you can buy from doTERRA. But this is actually a kids collection that they just came out with. And there's a couple of things in here where it shows you how to blend. Shows you the blends that's in there. So there's one called Thinker, Rescuer, Brave, and it's got vetiver, peppermint, clementine, and rosemary. Okay, and they're blends that you can use with your children, and what ends up happening is we sell these, and you can buy them as gifts, things of that nature. But there are different blends, and we also have kits for baby, like oils and salves, like diaper rash oil, things of that nature. So the big thing is all of these products. You can get this stuff anywhere else. I just tell you, make sure that you know the grade of essential oil you're getting, because you can get something that's just over the counter at a store. You're not going to get the grade. That's why I use standard process products and use the things that we're going from there. So she didn't. I think there are. Hold on a second. I have some samples that I'll give you guys before you leave. Oh, she took some out already. Okay, I see them. They're back there. She hid everything on me. So there's like, I have these little sample kits. Oh, here's the Deep Blue rub. I don't know how many samples of the Deep Blue we have, but there's a sample blend trio which has On Guard, which is the immune support. Digest Zen, which is a big one. Digest Zen is a good one for the stomach when you have upset stomach, things of that nature. So it's a real, huh?
I was just gonna say that's what Marie gave me when we were going to Disney World for the ride.
Oh, really?
Right.
Yeah. So Digest Zen. So there's and then there's Breathe. There's a little sample of Breathe in here too. But the Digest Zen is basically, it has. I don't like black licorice. I can't stand black licorice. But black licorice is, huh? Yeah, but some people have. But it's actually accommodative to the stomach. Okay, so it's accommodative to the stomach. So that's or it's actually anise. It's actually anise. Go ahead. A beadlet. Yeah, the beadlets. Yeah, so you can actually ingest it in beadlets. And then there's one here. There's one here that's just a sample trio, which is peppermint, melaleuca, and lavender. I don't know if I have a lot of these, but I might have more of the blend trios. I have to open this one. I don't know which one this is. So those are the things that we look at. The best way to do it is just these are essential home kits that they have with doTERRA, and they have the essentials like Digest Zen, lavender, Breathe. They have oregano, melaleuca. Oregano oil is a big one. A lot of people use, in the ears. Yeah, a lot of people use it for ear infections, things of that nature, for years. And it has antiseptic qualities. Garlic oil too is another one. But the big thing is, it varies. Why am I showing you this? Because this is what I carry. You don't have to buy anything from me, okay? But what I'm saying is you need to understand what the oils are, and understand that we have a lot of this stuff here for you to be able to access at a high quality. There are some others that people use. Like, most citrus fruits are uplifting. Most citruses are uplifting. Peppermint is also one of those that is uplifting, but it also helps you to breathe easier. So you'll come in here and you'll sort of smell it. And now, when I first walked in here, I was like, wow, that smells really good. Now I can barely smell it. But it's in the background. You know it's still working just because it's there, because your body gets accustomed to it. Mood is a big one, because we talked about this. Smell is one of the biggest things, and in here there's a whole chart of like which ones that you can use for uplifting, warming, energizing. Look, like toning alcohols, esters, ethers. That's the actual names of them. If you want to talk more biochemistry, we can, but that's way beyond the scope of this class. Okay, because that's something that I enjoy doing. But I was talking to somebody about it just today, and she watches somebody. She goes, "I'm sorry, I watched it on the chiropractor." I'm like, "Good, at least you're learning." I didn't care, but because he was getting deep into all the chemical constituents and things of that nature. And if I sat here talking to you about that, I'd bore half the people, 90% of the people that were here. But I like talking about that stuff and learning about this stuff because I learn about it too. But just an example, like uplifting, like I said, there's lemon, so you have, or limonene, betas, lime, lemon, grapefruit, wild orange. You can see most of them are citrus in here, but bergamot is not. And then Douglas fir. So isn't that interesting? That around Christmas, what do we do around Christmas? Pine needles. Some of us have Douglas fir, and we always feel better and happier around Christmas. Well, there's a reason for that. There's a reason for that. Soothing, like I said, melaleuca and lemongrass are two of the ones. Some of the ones that are warming to the body are just getting you feeling curcumin, oregano, thyme. And also now they're finding things like curcumin and oh my God, I'm forgetting what it's called. Boswellia and turmeric. Sorry, turmeric. I don't think turmeric is up there. It might be. Actually, there is one for turmeric now, but I don't think it's on this chart. Turmeric are anti-inflammatories. So the thing is, they can help not only with warming, because what they do is you could actually apply those things right to the joint, and it helps because it's a warming blend, although ice is a good thing for inflammation. Energizing, like I said, peppermint, spearmint, or fennel. I'm not a big fan of fennel, but it's... and then toning, geranium, marjoram, melaleuca. You can see some of these are in a couple of areas. Calming, like you said, was the lavender or jasmine. So that's why when you go to and you have jasmine rice, you feel at peace. Come on. But it's true. You think about these things. Think about when you eat some of these things and you do these things. Coriander is in a lot of like Indian foods. Okay, and if you look, where's coriander? I know it's right here. It's a toning. So it's one of those things that helps to tone the body, feel better, set a balance in your body. There's a reason why they eat these things. So those are the things that we look at. So the big thing is you don't have to ingest this stuff for it to happen. You just have to smell it. And we talked about that because smell is a huge impact on the body. Is that kids? Digestive support, we talked a little bit about digesting DigestZen. So it is a help cleansing, but you can actually use some of these to actually make cleansers for your house. Lemon oil. It's interesting because you go buy lemonade and it doesn't have real lemon in it, and you go buy Lemon Pledge and they use real lemon in it. That's kind of screwy. There's something wrong with that. It's like your cleaner for your house has got it, but the stuff that you're ingesting doesn't. Scary. Okay, it's really scary. So you can make blends, and we have a whole workshop on non-toxic cleaning. So we'll show you how to blend stuff and use certain things of that name. So so purifying properties like melaleuca, lemon, those are the two big ones. Oregano. I don't know if you want your house to smell like a pizza, but that's okay. But On Guard is a good one too. I use On Guard. On Guard is the immune support one that we use here, and it's got cinnamon and some other stuff in it. And I like the smell of it. Some people don't. Some people don't like the smell of it, but we use it a lot in the office. We use it in our hand soap. I actually have the toothpaste. I use the toothpaste, and so I'm cleansing constantly with this, and it works really well. It really works, and it helps to fight off immune support. It helps give you immune support. Digestive support, we talked a little about stomach upset, bowel. You were talking about how DigestZen helped you with the rides and things of that nature. So I'm wondering if it helps with car sickness or things of that nature. I'm not sure, but if your stomach is upset. And I remember when it was interesting, I was on vacation, and I was on a boat, and not a big boat, but a small boat going around an island. And there was like 6 or 7 of us on the boat, and this woman was sitting on the boat, and she started feeling seasick. All of a sudden, she breaks out this little container, like this little packet, and she opens up. It's doTERRA or essential oils. I'm like on the, I'm down in the Caribbean or wherever it was we were, and she opens this thing up, and she's like, "Oh, try this. It'll, not for me. It's good." And she's using this stuff right there, and it was funny because all she and she used it. So ultimately, when you use any of these essential oils, you should have some sort of carrier oil. That's why we have the fractionated coconut oil. It's not expensive. You could buy, cooking coconut oil too. It melts in your hands, so you can use that if you want to. But this is already in liquid form. It's not expensive, and it'll last forever. I have a bottle that I've had for a year now. So those are the things that we have. And then skin health, for obvious reasons, there are certain ones that you can put on your skin. There's in the Home Essentials kit, they have all these things that go along with all of this stuff. that can help support all of this. Immune support, we talked about with the On Guard. You like the cough drops. You have to get acquired taste for the cough drops. I know that, Marie, you use the Breathe cough drops, right? Or, yeah. And I don't like the Breathe cough drops, but I like the Breathe smell. So it's like, it has to jive with you. And I use the On Guard ones on a periodic basis for that. So things like On Guard, lavender, melaleuca, oregano, again, are things that you can work on for immune support. And then just relief in general. We talked a little bit about that with the Deep Blue, and then breathing. I said I use this stuff, the Breathe, throughout the whole fall and winter. Especially in here, I'll have people use it, and then I'll give them a sample to take home with themselves, and it works great. And then they come back, can I get a bottle of that stuff? And it works really, really well. So, any additional applications? There's a lot of benefits to that kit. If you want to get a kit, let me know. I'll tell you what the prices are. I have no idea what the prices are. Stephanie put prices on these things in case you want to get a Breathe stick or the Correct-X. We don't carry a lot of the stuff in-house because we get it as needed. Okay, because it's not like what we do. It's not like, okay, here, buy this stuff. Okay, this is just stuff that we have here for you guys to benefit from. If you want to become a doTERRA, you can become a wholesaler for doTERRA or a distributor. You can become a wholesaler, which means that you just join as buying it at wholesale price, and you pay like $30 a year. I don't know what the cost is. I really don't. Like I said, I focus on chiropractic. But you can become where you can buy it as a wholesaler, or you can become a distributor, which you get it at wholesale and then introduce it to other people also. So if you're interested, we are thinking of doing more of these types of essential oil classes where we'll have blending parties where you can mix things and things of that nature. But we just want to start with basics. Are there any specific questions before I recap everything? Go ahead. Oregano is ingestible. It depends on what you ingest it into, but I would have to check specifically on that because, it's oregano, so you should be. But it's very, very potent. Oregano is very, very potent. People don't. You put it on your skin and it burns. Go ahead, hon.
1 drop of oregano in a veggie.
In a veggie cap. Oh, okay. So you can ingest it.
1 drop.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah, so I don't know if they come in beadlets. They might have the beadlets are usually like 1 drop. Okay, and that's like I have. This is in my kit, and I take 2 of these every day. On Guard beadlet. In the morning, I have a couple of them. I have them at home, and you can see there. I don't know if you guys can see my hand, but it's tiny. It's a little tiny thing, and so you don't. I tell people not to bite into the On Guard tablets because they're very powerful, but. You take it. 2. I just take 2. And then if I want my breath to feel a little better and feel uplifted, I take a peppermint beadlet, put it in my mouth, and I pop it. Okay? So the thing is, the oregano, like she's talking about, they might come in beadlets. If they do, you can ingest it. I wouldn't put it right on your tongue. Okay, because it burns. It's the stuff will burn. So but good question. To recap, essential oils are all natural volatile liquids derived from plants and have many of them have powerful health benefits. The Home Essentials Kit offers 10% of the most commonly used essential oils. If you are interested in that, I can figure out a deal for you guys being here. I don't know how, honestly, I don't know how much it costs. But it's probably somewhere in the range of somewhere between $100 and $200, somewhere in that range. I don't know how much it costs. I really don't. Like I said, I don't sit. But we have diffusers that we can get. Yes, you can get them cheaper, but just make sure that they're not cheap plastic. Okay. You can get really tiny ones. They have ones for the car, but you can't leave them in your car because it'll freeze up here. It'll freeze up here. But there's a lot of stuff. So if you guys want samples, let me just see what this one. I think this is the. Yeah. So this is the single. This is the single oils. This is peppermint, melaleuca, and lavender sample. Okay, and then there's the sample blends. I don't have many of these. I only have like 4 or 5 of the sample blends. But the sample blends are broken. No. Breathe, On Guard, and Digest-N. So if you guys are interested in anything, I'll give them to you. I'll give them to you here. You can try the samples. If you're interested in any of the the kids kits or a gift for a baby, it's a great shower gift type of thing. Let me know. And this is the soap that I use. This is doTERRA soap. It comes with these two things, and it's like foams. It's a foam hand cleanser, but it's concentrated. I've had a bottle in my house, I think, for 6 months. Okay, because you put a little bit in here and then you fill the rest with water and it's concentrated. So it works really well. And I just like the smell. My wife doesn't necessarily like it, but I do.